Welcome back to the Legit Day Job Podcast. I'm Cody,
I'm Sean.
And I'm Kay.
and this is our legit day job. It has
Slipped up
been
there.
it has been a long legit day job.
It has. This
Because-
is what we do every day for
Very long.
for a living.
We have just completed day 3 of the Toho-thon, as I'm going to refer to it from now on.
I call it. I should have killed myself by this point, but you know, for
Toho-thon,
day
Toho-thon it is.
three.
So last week we had just got done watching Godzilla Raids Again,
Yep.
and it's going to be quite a while before we see Godzilla again. Because Toho took
man.
a temporary hiatus over the criticisms that Godzilla Raids Again was obviously a rushed sequel.
Yeah, I gave it criticism too. They
Yes, it was obviously a rushed sequel. So they took that criticism to heart and they put Godzilla to rest for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
In the meantime, they got very busy pumping out all kinds of other kaiju films, which is what we have just started taking a look at. Today, we took a look at Rodan, the Mysterians, and Varan the Unbelievable.
Those are 3 different movies.
3 different films. Rodan,
In case you-
1956, Mysterians, 1957, and Varan, 1958. These are all the Japanese versions. But
All directed by
We'll get to that.
all directed by
Ishiro Honda
Yep, Ishiro
returns
Honda.
once again from his own hiatus.
Stealing my thunder. A year hiatus. He was only inactive in 55. That was it.
Yes.
Because he was.
You'll understand the significance as we go on.
Well,
'cause
he did Gojira in 54.
He did go Jiren in 54.
And then he did Rodan in 56.
And
so,
then
I mean, there's
Mysterians
only
in
a year.
57 and Varian in 58.
Yeah.
And he's directed almost all of the Showa films from this point on.
Okay. Yeah.
That was his
But I mean-
hiatus.
Oh, it was just a year.
Yeah.
A year while he
Recuperated.
I was gonna say
Got his mojo back.
I was gonna say while he enjoyed the success of Gojira for what little there was initially, and then he saw the Americanized version. He was like, "Oh hell no, we're gonna make a new kaiju movie, something that the Americans won't touch." And then they made Rodan.
Yes. So let's jump right into Rodan. Again, Rodan 1956, directed by Ishiro Honda, and really bringing together the dream team once again. Ishiro Honda, E.G. Tsuburaya on the special effects, and my boy Akira. I'm gonna mess up his last name so badly.
But he's your boy.
Ifukube, I think. He's the composer for all of the iconic.
Oh, he's brilliant.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I love the main theme from Gojira.
Oh,
it's stuck in my head.
He has composed all of the iconic Godzilla themes. But enough of that. Rodan. Rodan, for those who don't know, is a relatively simple premise, which is that some coal miners, I believe, go digging and then they uncover some prehistoric beasts. First
Mhm.
some larvae, maggots, like man-eating maggots.
They're huge.
Which is at first believed to be the monster, and then surprise, it's actually Rodan, a pterodactyl, basically. A super Sonic. It's Sonic the Hedgehog, but he's a pterodactyl. That's that basically. What did you guys think of Rodan? This was not my first time seeing Rodan, but it was yours. What did you guys think of Rodan?
Well, I liked it.
Didn't sound very confident.
Well, okay, here's why. I did like it.
Uh-huh.
Some notes I was jotting down just now because I did neglect to take notes. I was really tired.
Even though I
didn't
kept
wanna-
reminding you to not take the notes.
Yeah, I know, and I would get up and go to the bathroom or something, or get up and go get food. So, anyways, color first and foremost. This one was in color.
Yeah.
Cody lied to me when we saw it because we saw this one, Rodan, and then we saw the next 2. And the last of the 3 was in black and white. But he told me
Well,
this
we'll get to
one-
that.
Yeah, but he told me this one was
I said Godzilla Raids Again was the last Godzilla,
the last black and white one.
the last
and,
black and white Godzilla film.
Yeah, and he lied to me. But
Technically speaking, Varian is not Godzilla, but
technically no. But it's
we will get to Varian in due time. Rodan.
Anyways, the point is, I was super excited that it was in color for once. Yeah, Ishiro Honda came back to direct. I liked that. I liked his style a lot more than whoever the hell did
Godzilla Raids Again.
Godzilla Raids Again, exactly. The music I wasn't as catchy for me as the original Godzilla, but or Gojira. But it was well done, obviously, because Honda got his team back. Cinematography was great. I did actually find the story pretty compelling. I did kind of like the horror movie setup, like in the beginning, with like all the bodies kind of just turning up and.
Oh yeah, it's very terrifying.
Oh yeah, no, it's pretty good. The special effects look pretty good too for the most part. I gotta say, they
improved significantly.
Yeah, the bug stuff. And then I'm gonna be just brutally honest. Nothing to do with the movie.
Okay.
But I did fall asleep for a good 10 minutes there, probably.
Yeah, I know.
At the
you
very
fell asleep
end.
multiple times throughout all movies.
I don't remember how exactly the climax happened, but I do remember waking up and the beasts were because there were two of them. The pterodactyl beasts were like
the Rodans.
They were like flying down into magma or something because they're dumb.
A volcano.
And like in the magma they started catching fire. And I think my favorite part, I'll just jump ahead to that. My favorite part was that death scene actually of the second Rodan. One of them's burning, and the other one comes down to like, I don't know, give a knee or something by it, and then it like, it was coming down to press F, and then it's like, oh nope, there's fire, and it tries to get itself out of there, and then it
gets caught in the lava.
Well, no, I mean it like catches fire, and then it tries to take off again, but then it kind of like stops for a minute, and then like just like a Bond henchman or a video game AI, it just kind of like freezes and drops down in like the most awkward fashion. You could tell it was a puppet, but I found it very endearing
because like a dead animal.
That's how I want to die. Is just kind of freeze up and then go and just kind of like
catching
topple
on
over.
Fire from an erupting volcano.
Yeah, just kind of like a paper doll, just kind of like slowly fall over until I hit the ground, and like physics just doesn't apply because I like stay stiff and then just kind of like roll around until I hit like a corner or something on the map, and it just like glitches and I stop moving, and then eventually if the player walks too far, I just kind of fade away, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. But I enjoyed that
what'd you think of Rodan?
I liked the beginning, but the ending I did not like. So what I liked about it, like in the beginning, I liked the mystery, the whole going into the mine. But I do not like the dragging and long drawn out battle scenes. Yeah. So I did fall asleep.
You too?
Yeah, but like I didn't fall asleep just like all the way through. I woke up here and there, tried to stay awake, but I just don't like those long battle scenes.
Yeah.
And then there was no Godzilla appearance. I thought he was gonna.
No. Yeah, no, I wasn't kidding. These are not Godzilla movies. These are other Toho Kaiju films.
I thought he was gonna, pop out of the mountain and fight and bite the bird.
Nah. Like that's coming.
Like
that's
the
coming.
Previous one.
That's coming later.
That pretty much that. That's it. That's my review of it.
Yeah. Yeah. It definitely. The explosions definitely go on for far too long at the end there. I don't necessarily mind the pacing of the final act, but yeah, just the constant barrage of missiles gets a little old.
Like the same, kind of almost like the same shot too.
Yeah,
right?
like it's borderline just recycled footage. It kind of just gets annoying to hear after a while.
It was literally the same sound effect. I don't know if you guys caught that, but
it's definitely
the same sound effect.
Definitely the same. Maybe not like the same one, but it's definitely the same like library of like 3.
Oh no, I was listening the whole time. Like there was a good like minute and a half there that like it was just the same exact sound. Like
you sure you're not?
Oh no, I'm positive.
Thinking of Varan?
No, I'm positive it's not Varan. I was definitely hearing because they were trying to blow open the mountain to
the volcano.
Yeah, to get it to erupt.
Yeah.
No, it was definitely
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just.
Yeah. I think I definitely mentioned to you guys before. I just don't remember if it was on the podcast or not. There are only 2 of these films that traumatized me as a kid because I literally grew up watching these. This was one of those 2. Specifically,
How so?
Specifically just because the first third of the film.
Oh,
just because it is like genuinely like a good suspenseful like thriller with some genuinely haunting, scenes for a film from 1956 about a giant pterodactyl. I mean, they start pulling out like corpses on like stretchers, and then they don't shy away from showing the corpses.
Mm-hmm.
And they go down into the
yeah, Stars, which we were watching it on, rated it TV-14.
Yeah.
So obviously it's not
it's definitely not.
It's not rated G.
It's not for
it kind of
kids.
was back then.
It's
Yeah.
not for kids.
Yeah. Do you know what the ratings were? Like for a brief side note, like do you know what because I know like
not at all.
Back in the day, some films were like rated G, but like they really shouldn't have been like today's standard of G. They just had like a rating, and then others just weren't rated. So I'm like, if it was like really bad, like you shouldn't watch it. Like it's like when they'd have like porn theaters, like would that be just not rated? And then like any other film that they put any like even close to the MPAA like heard of it, they like, okay, it's G,
Yeah, everything's G.
Like
back
Psycho
then.
was G.
It was G.
Psycho was G. Yeah.
None of these films were rated because the MPAA stands for the Motion Picture Association
of America.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's like every single Godzilla film until they got released like physically for home media.
Mm-hmm.
They were just all unrated, not rated.
Mm.
Even a lot of the home releases still have the not rated on it.
Yeah, because they didn't like resubmit it or anything. Obviously.
Yeah, because there's really no need to. Let's see, what was I talking about? Rodan. Surprisingly, it had not only was it in color, which was also really nice. Surprisingly, had really effective use of color.
Mm-hmm.
Like the colors they used worked really well. Like when they were in the coal mine, like all the lamps were like this like really ominous red.
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm, yeah,
that's right.
And then you'll have all these exterior shots where the main characters are dressed in colors that completely contrast to everything else.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you can
Like
tell
white
them
and
apart.
stuff.
Yeah, like especially like the opening scene where they're dragging out the corpses.
Mm-hmm.
The entire medical facility and all of the medical staff it's just all drenched in white.
Mm-hmm. But the characters,
except for the main character who's wearing like mining equipment.
Yeah, it's
So
like
it stands
yellow,
out like
yeah.
immediately.
Yeah.
That was
And then
really
the
nice.
dead guy who's like,
like brown or not browning, graying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it all pops, which
Yeah.
was
But I mean, he's also like dead, so like but they were doing like a
but against like all the white.
So he was
still,
naked.
it stands
he was, like,
out.
naked, so it was like skin tone,
Yeah.
and then also a little bit of red because he was a corpse.
Yeah.
And it's not a corpse in a film unless there's blood. People don't just keel over and die in movies. That's not how shit works. Like Granny has a heart attack making dinner. She falls over, but then like something lands on her and splat, there goes the brain. So like now you're like, oh, she's dead. They can't just have a clean, bloodless death in film, or at least that's been my experience. Now on to the Mysterians.
I don't understand what half of your tangents are.
They're coke fueled.
No, not onto the Mysterians. We're still on Rodan. I will say it does slow down in the second act.
What was the second act?
The second act is basically when they're just like
Battling.
researching everything.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
I still was invested in it because again, like the whole film is basically just like a mystery thriller.
Yeah.
But the second act is just a constant barrage of basically just exposition,
Mm-hmm.
just exposition dump after exposition dump, as they just try and unravel this thing.
Well, I like that the main character is it the main character, the one with the amnesia.
Yeah,
I like that he.
I felt like that
remembered.
was underplayed though, because he had amnesia, and then like 2 minutes later is when he got his
He
memories
remembered.
back.
He just saw an egg cracking. Oh.
I think it'd be more interesting if he was introduced at the very like start of the film with amnesia, and they're like, "What the hell happened?"
Oh yeah.
Like Ghost
That
Town
would've
kind of
driven
thing,
more.
and he's like the only survivor, but he has no idea what happened.
That would be cool.
That would be cool, but it's still an effective first act of the film, just the way it is. Yeah. So on to fun facts. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, because we have to cover 3 of these, there aren't really gonna be too many fun facts for these. Even if we had more time, there just really aren't that many fun facts for these films specifically. There isn't, like I said, there isn't some significant U.S. alteration that would justify all the fun facts.
Mm-hmm.
With that said, though, Rodan did have a U.S. theatrical release, and
As it was, like with subtitles.
I mean, it was dubbed, but it wasn't like significantly altered. Actually, okay, that's
so it wasn't like Gigantus the fire
No.
monster.
Yeah.
No.
Jesus.
No, it released as Rodan, and all they did, I mean, they made like extremely minor alterations, and then they just dubbed it over. So I guess that's a fun fact. George Takei actually voiced a character. I don't know which character because I've never seen the dub.
Well, he was also in. He also voiced a character, like an off-screen character
In Godzilla Raids Again. Yeah.
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 Well. The American
Gigantus,
version.
the fire monster. Yeah. I'd call that more of a glorified cameo because he just voiced like the loudspeaker.
Yeah, but we were like, oh, that's oh my.
Yeah.
It's,
No, as far as to my knowledge, he voices like one of the actual main characters, which I'm sure helped. How do you guys think this did theatrically here in the U.S.?
I think it actually probably did okay, considering.
I would say it probably did well.
I mean, if King of the Monsters did great actually.
It's a
then
little more than just okay.
Yeah, no. If King of the Monsters did great, I'd hope that this one did really good too, because narrative and stuff and special effects and color.
Yeah.
Americans love
color.
their Technicolor.
Yeah. Well, it absolutely destroyed records.
I hate you.
It's I don't know what year it was released in the US, but I do know that just in its opening weekend it made about $500,000. Just in the opening weekend.
I was hoping he was gonna be like, never before has this happened in America, in American theaters, but
a movie flopped hard.
A movie actually gave people money back. They lost money.
No, this film,
in the opening weekend, it was like they literally gave out hundreds of thousands of dollars for people to see it.
No.
That'd be funny. No. So only made like $500,000?
Damn.
In its opening weekend.
Yeah, they
Sad.
probably pulled it immediately.
Yeah, that is a total disaster. You're right. I must have miscalculated some of those zeros a little bit.
Yeah, $500,000 compared to what kind of budget did it have? If it had $1 million budget, then
I can't find the budget. Also, keep in mind this is 1956.
Okay, but I mean, if it was if it was like $1 million budget,
$500,000 in 1956.
Yeah, I know. That's compared to
an absurd amount of money.
Yeah, but no, compared to like what did Gojira have for a budget? Do you remember?
I don't remember what the budget was. The American budget was somewhere in the ballpark of like 20,000, 25,000.
Well, yeah, because I think the original was like
it grossed in the U.S. like $2 million, but that wasn't opening weekend. That was Lifetime.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, well then wait, never mind.
I don't know what the Lifetime numbers are.
Okay, wait. So then this one was good.
Yes,
it did really good.
This was a financial like.
Oh, I thought you were because you didn't straight up say no. It did great. You were like,
I said it broke records,
and I was like, but I was thinking he was gonna be like, well, it broke records for being the worst.
No, it broke records in a good way. It was
then I rescind my hate comment towards you, Cody. I'm sorry.
When it aired theatrically in the U.S., it was like the #1 sci-fi film of the year.
Oh, well.
Yeah, no, it like
all
destroyed box office
I'm trying to
records.
Keep this clean.
And
really
not
hard not to be like, oh well. Shit.
And not only that, it was also a huge critical success.
Yeah.
To this day, a lot of people, not only critics, but let me rephrase that. Not only like fans of these films, but also critics regard it as one of the greatest kaiju films ever made.
Interesting. What do Siskel and Ebert give it?
Who?
Siskel and Ebert. Do you not know who Siskel and Ebert are?
Nope.
How about Ebert and Roper?
No.
I know Wallace and Gromit.
I hate you. I'm not taking that one back. All right, the Mysterians. Speaking of the moon.
Oh, you want to move on already?
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, let's
let's give it a score.
So the Mysterians, 1956.
No, Rodan. Give it a score.
All right.
Kay, ladies first. Unless you want me to go first, I'll happily be a lady to go first.
4 out of 10. That's what I gave the last one.
Oh, do you want to explain why or no?
Okay. Yeah, I didn't.
Go ahead, Sean.
It's the same one that I gave the last one. That was my reason.
Well, I'm gonna give Rodan a 7 out of 10. Because I did praise a lot, obviously. Yeah, the climax I feel like went on a little too long. It was a little bit of a slower pace, and I did fall asleep. If I didn't fall asleep, it might have been like an 8. The world will never know. But 7 out of 10 is not bad, considering a $500,000 opening weekend in 56.
Yeah.
Cody?
It currently has a 70% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's pretty impressive.
Hell yeah!
All right, so the Mysterians, 1957.
No, nothing for you. Oh no, you give it a 0 out of 10. It traumatized you.
True. I give it 3 Mega Nulon out of my breakfast.
Okay.
All right, the Mysterians, 1957.
Yeah, 1 year later. Oh, wait a second. What am I thinking? Oh no, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. The Mysterians, 1957. Once again, the Dream Team back at it again. Shiro Honda, Eiji Tsuburaya on the special effects, and Akira Ifukube. Same composer. It's the Dream Team. I'm just gonna call them the Dream Team. They came back at it again with a completely different film. And when I say that, I mean it's not a kaiju film.
It's out of this world.
They went out intentionally to just make a good old-fashioned sci-fi film. And that is what The Mysterians is.
Mm-hmm.
The Mysterians is about Martians who come down and want 2 miles of land.
Nope, they are not Martians. They are Mysterians.
That's
because
right.
they've come from Mysteroid, which is a
that was
mystery
their
asteroid.
Well, see, that's a misconception. That was their home planet, but that was destroyed, so now they live on Mars.
It was called Planet Number 5.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
okay, so
technically they're Martians.
Okay, well, technically, like all my ancestors are not from America. But
Martians come down, and all they want is 2 miles of land on Earth and all the women that they can love.
Yes, they want to marry all of our women.
They only want 5.
Initially,
No.
But obviously, they're talking about how
the
they
end goal was to get all
the chicks.
Yeah, because they were talking about how they needed women to rebirth
hard.
their species. So it starts with 5 and it spirals out of control from there.
It's so hard not to just be like,
especially when there's 100 of them.
What do you mean?
The Mysterians. There was 100 of them.
Oh, I thought you meant women.
No.
I was like, in all of Japan, there's only 100 women.
There's 100.
There's
100 Mysterians. And yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous to believe they only want 5.
I thought they were Power Rangers.
Well, we'll get to that.
Wait, we're 100 Mysterians gonna share 5? Can I say that?
That's what I was saying. There's 100 of them. There's no way that they only want 5. That was just for the head Mysterian.
Yeah,
those were his. Those were his 5.
I was gonna say, yeah. I guess I can say that, right? It's 'cause
I mean, it was in.
Who
the
knows?
film.
Maybe they're sharing them like kids share toys. No, not like that, but you know what I mean.
Anyway, so
hey, you play with me for no. I just can't get around this.
these poor orphan Martians who are homeless.
Apparently, they're all men.
And
because they don't understand how sex works. They're
on the brink of extinction.
Yeah,
all they wanted was
they have strontium 90 in their DNA or something, and all their kids are messed up, so they just kill them.
Yeah, so it's get rid of them.
Yeah, they just get rid of them. Well, they didn't say kill; they just said we just get rid of them.
Yeah, we just
let them loose.
But we know what that means. We know what that means.
We eject them into space. Good luck.
We know what that means. The dictator. Oh, it's a girl who has the
No. It's Batman logic, right? If they don't kill them, then it's not killed.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So
they just didn't launch
if you
them.
slam a crate into their head and then they fly against the wall and leave a trail of blood, they're not dead.
No.
Because it's PG-13.
That's murder. I'm saying if they just eject them into space and just give them like one helmet and 3 days worth of supplies and just say good luck.
Oh, that's how Tony Stark ended up in space.
Technically, that's not murder because they have a fair chance. The Batman logic, right?
They set them free.
Free. Anyway, so these poor Martians, all they want is 2 miles of land and women to repopulate. And what do? We blow them out of the water.
It's America.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Americans show up in this one. They appear and they speak both English and Japanese. Some of the Japanese actors even speak English as well. I was actually really, really proud of them for that because it was a really good
They were absolutely not speaking Japanese.
No, they totally were.
They were speaking broken. They were speaking like one syllable every 5 seconds.
No, but it was Japanese. It just wasn't fluent. They weren't fluent in it.
I mean,
No, because think about this. Do you actually think they'd have Americans come into their Japanese-produced film and speak BS Japanese, and then because they weren't going to subtitle it like we got subtitles, which means they actually were speaking something in Japanese. It's not like they just had them go. I'm not gonna do it because that's kind of racist, but like, you know, they're not just gonna like say some random gibberish and then like pretend like the Japanese audience actually knew what they were saying, right?
there's this thing called dubbing.
No,
There's not a thing called dubbing?
no, there is, but they weren't dubbed.
I don't know, man.
I mean, unless you think the actors were just mouthing stuff and then they actually had a Japanese person come in, and if they did, hella props to them because it sounded just like the actors. But
I don't speak Japanese, but it just sounded.
What, Nani? What do you mean you don't speak Japanese? Come on.
I don't speak Japanese. I don't.
I don't speak Serbian, but I know a sentence in Serbian.
My point being is that I don't speak Japanese, but that just did not sound like Japanese. That sounded like broken.
Anyways, point was in the plot, in the story, in the suspended disbelief of fiction, they were speaking Japanese.
Yes.
And the Japanese actors were definitely speaking English. That was not some, you know, broken dub crap.
Yes.
But yes, I did like the, what's it called? Not multicultural. The it's like when two people team up, not an alliance. It's like specifically when it's talking about multinational, like there's a word for it, like
a union.
Sort of. I can't think of the word, but it's basically like these two nations are they have like a coalition, and they're like
they form the
like,
UN.
Bros in arms.
They form more specifically. They
Bros in
form
arms.
the Earth's Defense Force is what it was specifically.
Yeah, defense.
The Earth Defense Force is what it was specifically.
Defense Force.
The
of Earth
Earth Defense Force
No.
is what it was specifically.
No,
So,
that's
okay,
a
what did you
video
think
game.
of the Mysterians? 1957.
Defense Force of Earth.
Earth Defense Force.
My notes. I
Don't
just
ever
wrote
listen to
3
Cody.
things. Didn't take too long to reveal that robot chicken
Yeah.
in the beginning.
Ah, yes.
And alien storyline. And it got interesting when the brother was like, yeah, now you can leave with all the women. And that is that.
Those were your notes?
Yeah.
Robot chicken and brother.
Robot chicken alien storyline and a twist. Twist at the end with the brother being
Gotcha.
like, I realized that they're evil, so I'm gonna sacrifice myself. So you take all the women and I die.
Gotcha. Fun fact, because I don't think it was ever explicitly mentioned in the film, the robot chicken was called Mogira.
Okay.
What'd you think of the Mysterians, Sean?
Well, my first good point, as I'm sure we have established before, I make good and bad points on my notes. So my first good point is that there were aliens, especially in 50s films. I absolutely love that. It was also in
you're
color.
gonna love the future Godzilla films.
I'm gonna hate you. It was in color.
It was in color.
Although a negative point for me was it was a wacky plot.
I mean,
I thought it was kinda- I mean, it was-
a 50s sci-fi film from Japan.
Yeah, but I mean, still, it was kind of just a little. It felt like a TV movie, which I don't believe it was.
No,
Not
at all.
Oh, I like multi-circled this negative point. Only marry women. So I've already said, first of all, they don't understand how this works because obviously they only have men in their society if they want our women for some reason. Unless
Clearly.
they committed a mass genocide against their women, which I wouldn't be surprised because they, commit infanticide every time they get a messed up child, but whatever.
Yeah,
Point
set
is,
'em free.
it's a whole bunch of dudes with strontium-90 in their DNA, and then somehow they're conceiving children and then are upset when these kids end up with like horrible disfigurations or I don't know what, genetic mutation or who cares, but
It's pretty mysterious, all right.
I hate you. But yeah, so obviously they don't know the first thing about reproduction, but also I love how we pointed out that they want to marry all of our women as if
Yes.
that's a universal concept.
Well, I mean, in the 50s, that it was.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. You could never just preach promiscuity and premarital conception. But yeah. So, anyways, that's a big problem for me. It doesn't make logic. Logic. I'm really tired still. It doesn't make logistical sense.
Yeah.
Although, yes, Americans appear and speak both English and Japanese. That was a major
Distraction.
good point. It was a major good point for me, actually. I liked that. I wrote words I can't say on this podcast anymore on my notes, but I'll sub them out for something. I thought it had crap special effects, a crap reveal.
Really? You thought the special effects were bad?
Yeah, I'm not saying the costumes or the props or anything. I'm saying the actual special effects.
Oh, you mean like the laser beams?
Yeah, the cartoon laser eyes, and like that one time that the truck, the first reveal, the truck like blew up, but it was clearly just an overlay of fire. The truck was fine, and then cut to reverse angle of like a toy truck on fire, and it just knocks the F over. Yeah, so no,
the practical effects keep getting
they got
better.
Subpar on this one, but
the practical effects got even better. Like specifically all the explosions and the smoke and the compositing. The actual this was their first real attempt at doing like
alien sci-fi, as
as
opposed to just a dude in a suit who can blow stuff up.
This was their first attempt at what we now know as special effects.
Well, yeah,
as in like laser beams and whatnot.
Digital
digital effects,
not digital per se. I'm sure it was animated. I don't think they digital.
Obviously, I mean, it looked like they did it in Microsoft Paint. But
they probably did.
That's beside the point. This was their first real attempt at it.
Anyways, okay. Considering the time period, sure, it was okay. But because we're judging it on like today's standards, because like everything else holds up. Like especially with Rodan, like the plot, and of course Gojira, which is I think topping all of these so far.
Yep.
Like the plot, the acting, the music, all of that like transcends its time period. You know, it's still just as good today as it was back then. Sure, pacing and time, like length and everything is a little different, but today it would have been like a 2-hour movie, and the pacing would have been a lot more fast paced. They probably would have tried to throw in a couple other subplots, but otherwise, for what it is, it could still hold up today if it was released today and just, updated, like, newer props, obviously newer costumes.
I don't know if it could hold up today, like modernized. I think it could. I think it holds up because it is exactly what it is. I think if you try to modernize it, it would go so bad.
What,
so
Gojira?
Fast. No. Mysterians.
No. I'm talking about Gojira.
Oh.
No. I'm talking good examples.
I got you.
Okay, like Casablanca. You would never touch Casablanca, but when I went to go see it for the first time, I saw it in a theater. Okay, and it was a really great experience because I totally forgot I was watching a movie from the 40s. The only time I remember that was, obviously A, when I realized it's in black and white, B, that like World War II was actually happening when the movie was being filmed. Otherwise, it could have just been a period piece from whenever afterwards, But like the plot, the humor, the music, everything about it was like, it totally could have been done today and it would make no difference. It was just as great, right? And literally everybody in the theater started clapping when when the last line was spoken and then it fades to, the end title card. I got chills watching that. And it was kind of the same with this one, except, we didn't see it in a theater, but if I did, I guarantee you I would have seen, I would have gotten chills and stuff, when people start clapping. I'm talking about Gojira, of course, not Mysterians. My point was, good films like that, it doesn't matter about that. That's why I'm judging the Mysterians based on a timeless sort of critique, right? Same as I've been doing with the rest of these. Like, obviously, Gojira's special effects were not, even close to par today, but, just remembering a little tidbit like back then, that was as good as they got. Plus, even today, it's not like bad per se. It just, you can tell what it is, right? And it's not normal for today's standards. But like, the Mysterians, even today, it looks really, really cheesy. Like, even saying, okay, well, back then that's as much as they could do. Yes, but it still doesn't hold up at all. It really dates itself is my point, and like I said, the plot and the concepts and everything and all of that totally doesn't really, stand the test of time. So that's why I say it has crap special effects and a crap reveal at the end. And it had like crap logic for the bad guys. Like we can't make kids, so we want to take your kids. I'm pretty sure interspecial breeding is not a thing, especially considering if they're on different
I just want
planets.
to chime in and say that it looks like in 2016 they greenlit a remake of Casablanca.
That's never gonna happen. Just saying. No one in their right mind is gonna step in to direct that. And if they do, I guarantee you they will never direct again.
I'm just saying it was greenlit in 2016. Obviously, that was 2016. Nothing's come of it, but they greenlit it.
Yeah, they greenlit it, but then
So
I'm pretty sure
it's on someone's mind. Is all I'm saying.
They probably realized, we really shouldn't do that because look what happens when you try to remake classics like Psycho. Case in point, like anything after that is just, oh well.
Anyway, the Mysterians. This was my first time watching the Mysterians, and I gotta say, I loved it.
I hate you.
I loved it so much. Only in the sense that it was the most unapologetic 50s, 60s, 70s era alien invasion film.
50s. Only the 50s. I think we moved past aliens in the 60s, and the 70s had nothing to do with aliens. But if they did, it was like Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Like, they got good in the 70s.
I just mean like that time era of alien invasion film. It's the most unapologetic,
cheesy,
campy alien film.
Mm-hmm. Those would be the 50s.
Again, I wrote down 3 bullet points for the plot. The aliens want our woman and our land. Time for some justice.
Jesus.
That was the plot. And the longer the film goes on, the goofier it gets in like the best possible way. The final showdown is 3 satellite discs just shooting at a bounce house. That was the climax of the film. That was the climax.
I fell asleep during that too.
Yeah, no, because throughout the whole film, the Mysterians were like, we don't want to fight. Just give us your women and give us 2 miles of your land.
And then they upped it to 75 and we were like, hell no.
That was different. But the whole film, those were their only 2 requests. 2 miles, like a strip. A 2-mile strip of land.
We would have been fine giving up the land.
And 5 women.
Yeah, we would have been fine giving up the land, but the women?
Five. Well, hold on. I'm just saying.
Then we're just left with our side hoes, and what are we supposed to do with that?
I'm just saying. Those were their 2 requests. 5 women, 2 miles of land. And on top of that, they said from the very beginning, don't even bother trying to fight us.
Because we invented H-bombs. When you guys were in the Neolithic age.
When you guys were still single-celled organisms, we already had a hydrogen bomb.
So
don't even bother trying.
You know what? That was a. Ugh.
But it was even more than that. Because it wasn't just like a if you attack us, we will slaughter you. It was just you're not even worth our time. Don't waste your own time trying to fight us because it's not going to do anything. So what do they do? They spend the whole movie trying to just shooting them with everything they got, and nothing touches them. They're just in a bubble. They're literally in a bubble, and they can't do anything to this bubble throughout the whole damn movie. So what is their solution? Satellite dishes on wheels, because the bubble that they're in can shoot lightning or something. It can shoot like a lightning beam.
It's like a laser, yeah.
Yeah, it can shoot like a laser at the top of it. So they build these satellite dishes which will redirect the lightning and hit the bubble, which in theory will destroy it. And that's kind of almost what happens. But that's the climax, is satellite dishes just bouncing electricity back at the bubble that's shooting the electricity.
I added another.
That's how goofy the film gets, and I loved every second of it. I
added another negative point. More hydrogen bomb / atom bomb / nuclear bomb.
Yeah, but
social commentary.
That wasn't social commentary though.
No. That totally was just a gratuitous, okay, we invented this so long ago and it messed us up. Don't be like us. They literally said that. Don't be like us.
They never specifically said they never specifically said we used bombs to destroy us.
No, they did.
They just said we've had bombs since you guys were Neanderthals.
No. They said our race was destroyed when we engaged in nuclear warfare.
Did they?
No, they totally did. Yeah, that's why they had to. That's why Mysteroid was destroyed, and they had to move to Mars because they destroyed their planet and their civilization because they engaged in nuclear warfare, and they were like, "Don't be like us. Just give us the 2 miles and you're women." And then we were like,
shit.
"Nope, we're gonna nuke you." And then they were like, "Oh, okay, well, we'll drop the or the hydrogen bombs that we've had for like hundreds of thousands of years on you guys." And then they never did. So
Well, they definitely never said they were like they definitely I must have just like glanced over the backstory to their planet, but I know for a fact they definitely never threatened to use bombs. They just said we've had them.
Oh,
like,
okay. It was a vague threat.
It was they were just flexing on humans. They were just like, yeah, I mean, like you guys can try, but like we've had them since before you had fire.
Superior,
like
yeah.
But no, they never once said like if you shoot us, we're gonna drop bombs on you.
Well,
which is why I don't really see it as social commentary. I just see it as like
no, that wasn't a social commentary. But the whole backstory was like that was just kind of a really gratuitous like we happened to develop all the things you guys did, but so long ago, and it destroyed us. Don't be like that because then didn't they come back and say like the aliens basically said if we keep on this path, we're going to be destroyed in 20 years. And I was laughing because I was like, no, it's like 60 years afterwards. We're still here.
No. And here's why I disagree that was the social commentary. Because I wrote down what the moral of the story was. Because I found it so goddamn funny. Because it was like the last thing they said. The moral of the story was, don't use science the wrong way. And I found that so funny. I wrote it down as a sub bullet point. So the main bullet point was, moral of the story, don't use science the wrong way. Sub bullet point. Every nation on Earth proceeds to use science to exterminate surviving aliens who simply want land and women.
I'm going to quit. All right. I give it a 4 out of 10.
That was the Mysterians.
Yeah, I give it a 4 out of 10. I was going to give it a 5, and then I remembered the whole social commentary BS, so 4 out of 10 now.
I had a good time with it. Also, real quick fun fact, probably not that shocking. It was a financial success. It also...
Success?
Financially.
God damn it. All right.
Also released...
Well, wait, so are the Transformers movies.
Also, well, those aren't financial successes in America.
Oh, well, what? The Transformers movies?
They're actually all flops in America. Are
you kidding me?
They are financial successes in one country and one country alone.
Which country is that?
China.
I swear. No, are you kidding me?
Absolutely not.
No.
They do not break even in America. That is why they make them the way they do. That is why, I don't know if you ever noticed, ever since Transformers 2, they have all shoehorned in China or Hong Kong as a central location. It's because they make deals with them where...
What? I'm looking this up. I swear.
Well,
I thought domestically...
No. Domestically, they are horrible
I thought
financially.
Domestically they did like great compared to the budget. Like the budget's like relatively...
No, yeah. They never break even domestically. Internationally is where they like quantify their budget.
I'll look this up while you guys talk about that. Anyways, my favorite scene in Mysterians, probably the description of, we want your women. Yeah. That was just too funny for me. 4 out of 10. I'm done with Mysterians.
What I was saying, Sean, was that it was a financial success, but probably to no surprise is that it was a critical flop, at least here in the U.S. Very influential in Japan, though. Very, very it was a classic in Japan. Yeah. Well, what did you think of the Mysterians?
My rating would be an 8 out of 10 because Japan and America became bros to destroy an unknown force.
Yes, for once they were not launching bombs at each other, but together.
They worked together.
Yes.
And then favorite scene, when the robot chicken came out of was it a mountain or something? It just appeared.
Yeah, it just walked out of the mountain.
It was like, hi.
Basically. Yeah. And it just started chasing after people.
Things or crying. Cheers.
Yeah, that was the Mysterians. Which brings us to our final film.
Wait, what was your rating?
What?
Your rating. What'd you...
Yeah, don't nanny us.
Favorite scene?
I'll give you a favorite scene.
Watch, he's gonna be like, one more time, and then he's gonna go, Varan the Unbelievable.
He's just saying back the dialogue that was a part of that scene.
I do remember that, yeah. I think that was the next movie, though.
Oh, was it?
I think it was, yeah.
He's like, what are they saying?
Because I was like, they didn't have money for color, nor did they have money for a script. They would just like say whatever in response, and they're like, and I'm like, what? The cavemen?
Oh no! You know what? I know exactly what my favorite scene was. It took me a minute because we watched three movies today. It kind of jumbles together at some point. My favorite scene in the Mysterians is when the Blue Power Ranger comes down and just kidnaps two girls. Like it was nothing. Yeah. Like they like pretend they like start to scream, but then they just like freeze and they just walk up and like give them a hug and they just sweep them off their feet and just like Spider-Man up into the helicopter.
It was like his whole body was like giving off chloroform or something, right? Like just he walks up and then they just like without a sound, and then Cody was like, what did he say? He was like, what a swooner or something like that. Or no. What did you actually call him?
What a charmer.
Oh yeah, what a charmer. Oh, and then the second guy, like the first chick, like he takes the first chick up, and then like the second chick comes out, and she's like, what? Because she saw them start to go up, and she like walks outside to where they were standing. And the second guy comes out from behind a corner, and like I'm like, oh, he's a creeper, but then she faints in his arms too, and I'm like, I must be doing something wrong.
Well, what you were doing wrong is that the Blue Power Rangers they wear the Sex Panther cologne.
I hate you.
That's how
I'm so upset. F Sex Panther, man. I had to work hard to get my girlfriend to get together with me. It took like 2 cars. I had to burn one of them at one point. So much duct tape, it's not even funny. And like I had to keep switching gags because she'd like salivate all over it, and
getting too
and I had to find a place with a dungeon. Do you know how hard it is to find a dungeon in California?
A bit too gray.
You always take it just too far. Like you always take it like one sentence too far. You gotta learn like when the perfect time to stop is.
There are some children listening.
Yeah.
There's nobody listening.
There are some children listening, good sir.
Nobody is listening.
How else are we going to meet our quota of, I don't know what our quota is.
Children don't know what the hell Godzilla is.
10 people by the end of the year?
What's 550 subs? 50 subs?
That's our quota.
50 submissives.
And okay, well now.
We've already got one. She's in my dungeon.
Oh, God.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, baby. I love you.
Okay.
Ignore all of this.
Okay. Let's move on now, shall we, to the third and final film, Varan the Unbelievable. Varan the Unbelievably Long. Holy crap. This film. Oh my God. So Varan the Unbelievable. What about it? It
was unbelievable.
It was definitely unbelievable. I could not believe that it was still going on.
Yeah. I could barely sit through it.
What is truly unbelievable about this film is that it's only 1 hour and 15 minutes.
You know what else is unbelievable?
And it feels like it is 3 hours long.
You know what else is unbelievable and actually is 3 hours long? All the Transformers movies. You were right about the budgets.
Yes.
I apologize.
Yeah. No.
Although 3 and 4 grossed like over $1 billion each, which is probably
mostly from China.
I was gonna say probably the same reason Spider-Man 3 got a relatively high box office revenue.
Completely different
as well.
Circumstances.
No, but like they're like, oh, another sequel. Go to see it. Oh, this is dog crap. I was about to. I can't. This is hard.
So Varan the Unbelievable. So. Before we get into it, I'm gonna give the backstory to it, like I was teasing throughout the film, because Varan the Unbelievable.
Yeah, he told us it had an unbelievable
is in black and white. So here's what happened with Varan the Unbelievable. So after the smash hit of Rodan in the U.S., Toho decided that they were going to make a joint film with American studios, which was going to be Varan. It was going to be a 3-part television film. And it was going to be and it was going to be co-produced by Toho and some American studio who is unnamed. There are rumors that it's the same studio who's done, the previous Americanized versions of Godzilla and Gigantus. But they're unnamed. So who knows who it actually is. So with that said, they like rushed to get into production. Principal photography lasted only 28 days.
Oh my God.
So it was extremely rushed.
Okay, hold on. Considering all the special effects that went into it, 20 days
28 days.
28 days. I'm sorry. Yeah, 28
days later.
28 days is nothing.
Yeah, 28 days is nothing.
Okay, Halloween, the original, very, very little hardcore special effects. That was filmed in 20 days.
Yeah.
Okay, and that was a mad rush too. It was a miracle that even succeeded. But
this is like a monster film.
Yeah, this should have taken at least twice as long as it already did. It should have been like a 50-day shoot.
Again, in context, the original Gojira was
wasn't it shot in 55?
It was something like 50 days principal and then like 70 days for the special effects alone.
Yeah.
For the the effect shots.
Yeah, this special effects.
The principal on this one was shot in 28 days. So it was a rush production, but the real kicker is at the last minute the American studio backed out.
That's where the budget went.
So they were left with this just this mess of a film. Mm-hmm. So instead of just scrapping the whole thing, I don't have the budget info or the box office info for any of these films, but I would imagine that the budget was, respectable, considering, how much the special effects had improved, at least up until this point. They probably sunk in a decent investment, at least for the time that these films came out in. By the way, Varan came out in 58. So with that said, they decided to pull a 180 and just take what they had and try to create a one single theatrically released film, which is what Varan the Unbelievable is. It is in black and white because, again, it was intended to be a television show, which was still at the time, the standard was black and white.
I see.
However, it is the way that it is because it was a television movie, a 3-part television film that they only shot part of and had to scramble to make it a theatrically released film.
Wait, so it was meant to be television, or it was meant to be theatrical?
It was intended to be a 3-part TV movie made,
but then they made it into a theatrical
because they had 28 days of footage, and they had, they didn't want to just scrap the project.
Yeah.
With that said, they did shoot new scenes just to kind of bridge the randomness for a theatrical release film. But all of the footage, all of it, had to be processed into a new aspect ratio. What we watched was the theatrical release. However, as you guys saw on the DVD version I have, so I'll back up a second. So that we watched the original Japanese release.
Okay.
This film did get a Americanized version, which is supremely different than what we just watched.
It's like one clip of the Japanese footage.
That's borderline what it is. They shot like all new stuff. Again, at least I mentioned to you two while we were doing this, we're not going to watch that one. We're only I'm reserving the dual viewings for very specific Godzilla main films. This is not one of those.
This is like we barely need to watch this film. But because
we are watching these Toho non-Godzilla films.
Well, I was gonna say because we decided to go hardcore. So when Cody pitched this idea to me and Kay a couple weeks ago, he asked us if we wanted to
just watch the Godzilla films.
If we wanted to do minimum effort or maximum effort. We decided maximum effort, which means we're watching all the associated films too that are not Godzilla films, but that feature kaiju that will show up later.
Correct.
In other Godzilla movies. So that's why we're watching all these spin-offs and stuff or what have you. But if we decided to go minimum effort,
it would just be the mainline Godzilla films.
Yeah, we wouldn't even need to be watching these. So that's why we're skipping the American versions of these sidelined kaiju movies.
Correct.
Just so that we can get to the Godzilla stuff. Because that's why we're watching it. We're watching Godzilla because we know you guys love it. I
don't care if they love it. I love it.
Well, I mean, you love it, but like we're trying to get an audience here, my friend. So
yeah. Well, this is all.
They love it.
This is all in preparation for King of the Monsters.
No, of course. So like, if you're a film, what connoisseur, if that's
film
what
buff.
Film buff. Yeah, I mean, there's buffs and then there's connoisseurs. Connoisseurs kind of tip their nose up at you. Buffs are just your average like
film
human Wikipedia like myself. So film connoisseurs, film buffs. What's the good name for weeaboo?
A fan.
What? Good name for weeaboo?
Yeah, that's a nice way to say it. I think.
No.
Oh, there's not. Okay, well then weeaboos.
An otaku.
What?
Otaku.
Let's go with that. I'm going to pretend like I know what that is. All of you guys out there who love Godzilla and want to see the new Godzilla King of the Monsters and actually give a damn about the history of Godzilla and other kaiju, this is what we do this for you. So we're going maximum effort for you guys. And please subscribe.
Says the guy who fell asleep through all the movies.
Okay, I said
Varan,
we as a team. We as a team.
Varan the Unbelievable. Yeah, super rushed. That is why it is the way that it is. Now let's talk about the way that it is, and it is extremely.
It is dog
painfully boring. Horrendously boring.
I know you were like.
Again,
all I heard is Cody saying, Sean.
This is a film that is an hour and 15 minutes, and it feels like it is 3 hours long, and that is not a good thing.
Yeah. Bad points for me: black and white, horrible pacing.
Really, black and white? That's a bad thing.
Considering that, like, you know, the last two were in color, they couldn't put this one in color, and here's why. One of my good points was actually the costume looked cool. I would have wanted to see that in color.
Well,
don't get me wrong. I know I'm going to see it in color because it's going to come back, and I thought it looked cool.
You say the costume looked cool because you fell asleep through all the moments where it was derpy and a hand puppet.
Oh, I'm sure, but I did think that the idea was cool. So obviously dating it and giving it like no budget in 28 days. Yeah, that's But aside from that, I thought the performances were okay. I thought the special effects were okay, better than they were in the Mysterians, and I thought the costume looked cool. Like I said, negative points were it went back to black and white after, being in color. Horrible pacing. The dialogue was clearly half-assed, and it was a rushed and dumb plot. And I hella fell asleep.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
I do gotta disagree with you on the special effects one. You probably could chalk that up to the fact that you probably slept through half the film. The special effects in this were horrendous.
I caught most of the special effects.
The suit, like the monster effects, those were great.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else was awful.
Well, are you hold on. Are you including like turrets and missiles getting fired and all the actual explosions and stuff? And like when when the creature like just destroys a mountain to kill some people? All that stuff?
To an extent, yes.
Okay.
I mean, again, the suit it's a really interesting design suit. Like it's an interesting creature design. The actual like practical effects directly involving the suit, knocking down buildings or toppling over the mountain, that all looks fine.
Mm-hmm.
It all looks really good.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't happen often. Everything else, there were so many shots. Again, I guess you were just asleep for. Yeah. There were so many shots. You'll know what I'm talking about. Okay?
Yeah.
There are so many shots where not only is it quite clearly a toy tank, but they had toy soldiers sticking out of the toy tank.
I think I want to up my score on this movie. It was going to be a 2. I might give it a 3 now, just because they had the balls to do that.
I wouldn't say they had balls to do it.
Kind of like kind of like in American Sniper when Bradley Cooper's cradling that baby and it's clearly just a baby doll, but they went through with it anyway. Gave them extra points for that. I was like,
different.
No, this is the same.
It's not like they were like, oh my god, are you really gonna do it? It's like.
Well, no, because I mean, they could have absolutely gone back and been like, hey, those shots with the toy soldiers, if nothing else, let's refilm that or something.
I mean, by that logic, they could have just taken the toy soldiers out of the toy tanks.
They could have,
but they didn't.
But
thus, it's horrible.
No, exactly. No, they could have, but they didn't because they were like, it's fine. We're just gonna swallow our pride and keep going. Ishiro Honda, you're a genius. You
awful.
You made a masterpiece, and then
awful,
and then you followed it up with another masterpiece, and then you did it okay with the Mysterians, and then you did this shit. But
the only thing that this is a masterpiece is curing insomnia.
But no, see this. Yes, but
not
I am an insomniac.
Okay. Let's move on from the special effects because I also noticed the visual quality of this film is also noticeably worse.
Oh no, absolutely. Yeah, no, this was so subpar.
It all looked like everything looked out of focus, and that's not just the DVD.
That's not just the film being crappy.
Yeah, that's not the DVD transfer. Like all the shots, everything just looked soft and out of focus.
Mm-hmm, yeah, it was. Yeah. But okay, yeah.
So there was that. There was the.
It's a TV movie. Everything on TV was.
No, it was supposed to be a TV movie.
No, but
this was a theatrical.
No. But they filmed it as a TV movie.
Yes,
and like everything on TV ends up being way out of focus in the 50s anyway. So it's
yes,
like,
and I'd give it a pass if it had stayed on TV.
Well, yeah, but they can't go back. Obviously, they didn't go back and film
would your
new.
opinion change, Sean? If because we were just talking about this the other day, if they filmed what was it, Divergent? Was that the one that's like in hiatus?
Yeah, like the fourth Divergent film. Yeah.
So would your opinion change? Because it's the exact same situation. If they filmed the fourth one as a TV film, like they made it for TV, and then they just at the last possible minute were like, you know what, we could put this in theaters, and they just shipped it to theaters anyway. Would you still say that you will give it a pass because it's a TV film?
I mean, yes, because they filmed it in such a way that it was gonna be. Like, okay, like if when they moved it to theatrical, it was very clearly like there were beats in a you know, there were beats in the movie where like in the plot where like there were gonna be commercial breaks, obviously, you know, or something like that. But obviously when they edit that out and they edit out like the fade to blacks or what have you, you know, that like kind of doesn't sit well. I would forgive them for that because they can't just go back and redo the whole movie to make it theatrical now, right?
Yeah.
But this one, I mean, kind of this. I would forgive it for that because it was made for TV, and then their co-producers backed the hell out, and then they had to rush it to be theatrical, and they had to change a bunch of stuff as it was. They weren't about to go refilm everything from the ground up because obviously, if they had that luxury, they would have done it. But they clearly didn't, and they had a deadline, and they couldn't back out of a contract or something, so they had to keep it going. So I mean, I would forgive them for that. But if it was just on their own time, and they were like, you know what, we're gonna make it a theatrical instead. Let's make it better. They could have gone back and reshot like 90% of what they already shot.
Well, they could have also just stuck with the TV aspect. Like they didn't have to just decide to make it a theatrical release.
Well, no, but I don't know if they're in charge per se. The company might be in charge.
No, this is a Toho film.
No, that's what I mean. Is the company might be in charge, not the actual like directors
that's what I'm talking
or
about.
anybody.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the director or anything like that.
Oh no. The producers were stupid to.
That's what I'm referring to.
Yeah,
I can't.
No, never mind. I was gonna say like no. I forgive the director and the writers and everybody for like writing.
No,
for
yeah,
TV
no. I forget all. I forgive all that. But in terms of like the actual.
The
product.
The decision,
the film.
The decision to take what you had and make it theatrical. No, that was stupid on Toho's part, honestly.
Yeah.
They should have left it for TV, but whatever. Because it would have done fine as a TV movie, because like that's where your subpar stuff goes. Like the last
the first act was kind of interesting when they're just on the island and then Varan shows up.
Yeah,
I'll give them that. It was kind of like it was kind of like the old Gojira, right? Like
it was just like another monster movie.
Yeah,
Mystery Village and
Mystery Village. Like, oh, what's going on? Oh,
that's where I started to fall asleep.
Yeah. However, that's only like in hindsight, that's probably 20 minutes out of the runtime.
But it felt like forever.
It felt. I mean, that felt like that opening act felt like 30 minutes. It was probably only 15 or 20, and I say that because the rest of the film is literally just Varan just swimming to Tokyo.
It was the exact.
This is really my main issue with the film is that there's no plot. There's no plot.
Yeah, no, really.
The characters. So what there is of a plot. So
you disagree with my rushed / dumb plot? No, you just say there's just no plot.
There is no plot. Here is what there is that in the beginning, like the very opening of the film, some random dude is like, oh, one of our students at the school found a couple butterflies. We're gonna go investigate where the butterflies are for no apparent reason.
You were about to say something else.
No, it wasn't.
I thought you were.
No. No, that's the setup, is that for no reason they want to go track down some random school kid's butterfly collection for like, unless I just missed it, but I don't think I did because it's literally the first like 2 minutes of the film is this setup.
Yeah, it was there.
So a couple reporters go to this random island or jungle or whatever to go try and find the butterflies. And then instead of finding a butterfly, they find the island god, which is Varan. That's the plot.
Yeah, they just happened to find it.
That was it. Because after
then they
that,
try to kill it. That's pretty much.
Well, no. After that, it's just Varan goes from island to Tokyo, and then he dies.
Yeah.
That's it. Hour and 15 minutes. That's why it feels like 3 hours long. Because, like I said, the first 20 minutes, that was the most...
It could have been a half-hour special.
It could have been a half-hour special.
Cut out a lot of stuff.
Again, like the first act of the film is the most interesting, just because that's the only part with a plot.
I started to think that that they could have cut down a lot of stuff when it was like
They could have cut so much.
it was like when the girl and the main character and then that idiot guy that they brought with them, they start like hiking like before they get to the village, and they start hiking up a mountain, and it's like 2.5 minutes of just them hiking, no dialogue. I'm like, what? Like, not even music or anything. It wasn't like a montage. It was just
they didn't
long
have to
shots of them like hiking. I'm like, what the hell?
You missed the flying
is
scenes.
this?
Yeah, they didn't have to cut any of that. The
repeated.
stuff that they should have cut is the stuff you fell asleep through. Because
Like ship
literally,
battle.
like I'm not kidding.
Oh no, I don't doubt that. I'm just saying, like, I would have cut a lot of that out. I would have just made it like hey, let's go hiking, and then like maybe a
then they find a
Star
monster.
Wars screen wipe to like 10 seconds of them in the forest, and then like a Star Wars screen wipe to they show up in the village. Hurrah! You saved some time, and it wouldn't have taken 28 days. You could have done, a lot more with your special effects in that small amount of time.
Yeah.
But oh well.
What I was getting at is that it's literally like once he's set free on the island, basically.
What?
Varan. Yeah. Once he starts attacking.
I was gonna call him Rodan. They're already slipping into one movie in my mind.
It is almost literally just an hour long, uncut of just non-stop missiles shooting at Varan as he walks slowly through the water. Sorry, slowly through the island, slowly to the ocean, slowly through the ocean, slowly to Tokyo, and slowly back to the ocean. It is the most annoying 45 minutes to an hour I've ever witnessed, because it is, like you were saying with Rodan, it is just one sound effect looped for 45 minutes to 60 minutes, as it's just a constant barrage of missiles and helicopters and attack planes and javelins and machine guns.
That sounds
nonstop.
That sounds exactly like the kind of film I would make to piss you off.
Absolutely nonstop. It was that is why it felt so long.
That is why it got a 2 out of 10 from me.
That is why it felt so long.
Okay.
What did
Your
you
score?
Yeah, what not even the score. What did you your thoughts overall?
Oh wait, yeah, hold on a
I
second.
still have so much more to say on the film.
I have no favorite scenes from this. I'm like done with this one, honestly. No favorite scenes, 2 out of 10. I'll come back when we close.
I was done with it when I kept on moving around. It was like very painful to just sit through it. But here's my take on it, just to make it entertaining. So I took the monster as being a girl on her monthly. It's very relatable here. Think of it as the monster's point of view.
Okay,
So
sure.
She can't cross the line, which is a fence. You pointed that out earlier. You can't cross the line.
Yeah.
So she just walks around.
The tribesmen had like a bamboo, like a 4 foot tall, 6 foot long bamboo fence, and they were like, "Yeah, anyone who crosses this is gonna be eaten by our god." Yeah, and that was supposed to keep everyone out.
Oh, literally, like a kid hopped it, a dog hopped it, and then like the main
the
characters
kid
kind of undid it and
the
opened
kid
it.
didn't hop it. The kid crawled through it.
Oh yeah, sorry. It was yeah, whatever.
So did the
Point
dog.
is a
Yeah,
pretty,
the kid and the dog, they just jumped through, because like I said, it's a bamboo fence in the sense that it's like just like X's.
Yeah, it was a pretty shit fence.
Yeah. So yeah, the kid and the dog just hopped through the gaps. Anyway, sorry, go on.
Anyways, she goes around it and then just destroys everything because she sees her ex with another girl, which is the main character, and I guess the girl reporter. And she gets jealous, and they apparently were in the cave. I don't remember much about that except she was in the water and in the cave, and then she got upset she can't reach him.
Yeah.
So Varan can fly.
Yep.
You remember that part?
It's a flying squirrel.
Oh, I don't remember.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I remember that. That was what I take it back. That was my favorite scene. Just
she
the
spread the wings.
open the and then
When it
like
just starts
the
flying.
little webs between them, and then
Out of nowhere.
everyone was like, hit the dirt, and then it just like and then like a jet plane sound, and she like very stiffly flies over the whole. It was like it was like stuff of nightmares, and that's why it was a beautiful scene.
So, flies away, has an emotional breakdown, and then takes an hour-long bath to get over things. And then, that scene just drags out.
Oh, so we saw 15 minutes leading up to the hour-long bath, and that was the movie.
Yes.
And then gets screwed at the end for, I don't know if I can say this, for swallowing. She swallowed a bomb, and then boom.
And then boom. And then she died.
The message here is don't swallow.
Yeah.
There's no shame in spitting.
Okay. You got anything else you want to say about Varan?
No, it was just painful. Like,
Okay.
I never had a movie where I was like, I usually don't move at all, but I was just like,
Yeah, I could tell you were
tossing and
fidgeting a
turning.
lot.
Yeah.
You were trying to like
Just stay entertained.
I was trying to get comfortable. I was actually
You were trying to
take a
stay
nap.
asleep.
Yeah, I was trying to take a nap, my guy. I was
couldn't-
like, I can't.
I
was
couldn't sleep for some reason.
Yeah.
each movie I tried to stay awake, but it was just too emotionally draining. I was like,
Too emotionally draining.
Yeah,
It's too much for you.
it was too much. I can't even right now. I swear. I was trying to get comfortable the whole time because I figured if I got comfortable, maybe I could like just put all my energy into like staying awake, as opposed to like half my energy into staying awake, half my energy into like sort of being comfortable, like like trying to sit upright in the chair so it's not like killing me or something, So
All right. Well, the last couple things, because we are going to wrap up in just a minute.
like
Okay.
10 minutes, yeah.
Well, no, like a minute or two.
Oh, what? Okay.
Yeah, we're just about done. I do want to just say a couple last things then about Varan if you guys are done with your pieces.
Yes, I am done.
Let's see. The last two films, Mysterians and Rodan, they were pretty good about this. Varan was the one that kind of went back to Godzilla raids again in the sense that almost all of the stuff with the monster was like just shot in very flat, wide shots. Just made it seem very obvious that he was just on a set. Like I said, the last two films did a pretty good job at going back to like the Gojira style of like, making him seem big.
What, Rodan and
Mysterians.
Mysterians?
Yeah, with the chicken robot.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Varan
but
did
this
not.
one, yeah, like every shot with Varan was at like either eye level or it was like, I'm pretty sure like the only somewhat low angle shots of it was when he was like it was like in the jungle. So like the entire frame was just blocking him like with the trees.
Mhm.
So it didn't even make a difference because he was still just awkward.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a little disappointing to see. The action scenes, none of them have any sense of urgency. Like
Yeah.
it was just
Yeah.
a string of events.
Yeah.
And because it was like an hour of just him getting shot at, like who cares?
they didn't read our Holy Bible.
Yeah.
Our Holy Bible is the book Your Script Sucks.
Your screenplay sucks.
Oh, yeah, your screenplay
100
sucks.
ways to make it better.
Yeah, by William William M. Aker or something like that.
Something like that.
It's something really cool because it's like his name is Bill Maker. I thought it was funny, but yeah, William M. Maker, brilliant guy. I love the book. It's our Holy Bible because this is what we do for a living. We make film.
This one was both a positive and a negative, which was the fact that there's almost nonstop monster action.
Yeah,
It was a positive because at least it gets right down to it. But
too much of a good thing is not a good thing.
Yeah, it's a positive because it gets right to the point. It's a bad thing because this is probably the shining example of why anyone who complains about any Godzilla movie about there not being enough Godzilla, this is the example you show them.
Yeah, you're like, well,
'Cause
here's what
if
happens
it's just
when we give you
nonstop.
too much of a lizard.
Yeah,
and
if
they
it's just nonstop action, it just gets boring and repetitive because there's only so much you can do when you have an indestructible lizard.
Mhm.
And it's one lizard. It wasn't like two of them.
Yeah, it
fighting,
wasn't even like fighting
previous.
anything. It was just a lizard just stomping around
Yeah, now
at
if
snail's
they,
pace.
now if they treated it like, two of them fighting, not like Godzilla raids again, but like
Just two variants just fighting.
yeah, if they did that, then that'd be at least cool because it'd kind of be like Infinity, where like pretty much the whole plot is just fighting, but you're okay with it because it's
mean,
like a
I don't know if I compare it to Infinity War, but
No, but I'm
all
saying
right.
like there wasn't, but Infinity War didn't have like a huge, lengthy, in-depth plot. It was pretty straightforward. There was just a lot of tension and emotion built up because of everything around it. But that's a little,
It
the point is, it was just
had like a dozen character plot threads.
tiny ones, tiny
No,
ones.
but
They were very minor.
It kept the pace because it kept jumping back and forth. They never lingered on one plot
no,
thread.
exactly. But the point is, if they did that,
Anyway,
and they had a whole bunch of fighting too,
we're getting derailed.
it would be better that way. At least if it were two,
we need to wrap up.
because then there'd be some, some
The last
change
thing
of pace.
the last thing I'll say about Varan the Unbelievable is the only positive I can say about the film, which is that it was very interesting to see just how much familiar music and roars were in this film, which you two won't quite understand. I never realized just how many of the classic Godzilla themes were created for this film that he then just repurposed for future films. The roar is even it's the Heisei era Godzilla roar. So they've just ripped that straight from this one, just repurposed it. I thought that was kind of interesting. That's about it. That's about all the positive I can say about this film.
All the positive, all the negative
that's
is
My favorite scene was when he died because it ended.
It was over.
It was over. That's about it for episode 3 of the Toho-thon. Good news is that we will not be doing another 3-film triathlon for quite a while. There's only one other left, and it's at the very end of this whole shebang. And it is a good watch. It is a genuinely good watch, those 3 films. Yeah, you guys want to say anything else before we head out?
a proper outro, maybe. Thanks for listening to the Legit Day Job podcast.
The Legit Day Job podcast, because this is our legit day job. I am your host.
I'm Sean,
Okay.
and we'll see you guys Thursday.
Next time.
See you guys next episode where we watch Gorath and Atragon.
Did you just end it?